Hello everybody. Now today I've just found some leftover in the freezer. So I had some sausage meat. So I've just defrosted that. It's just a tube of sausage meat left over from Christmas. And also I found some chestnuts, a pack of chestnuts, a short pastry sheet. So it doesn't have to be this brand. This is just what I found in the freezer. And I just thought, actually, I'm going to use these items up. I found some sage, a packet of sage and onion stuffing, just like a pre-mix that you just add boiled water to. I've got one onion and I've got some new potatoes, so some little, these ones are, they just call them baby potatoes. But you can see what size they are, and I've just got a sort of cereal size bowl of those. So what I'm going to do is, this is all made up, so I don't know how it's going to turn out, but let's just go with it. So I'm going to rinse the potatoes off, and I'm going to chop them into little chunks. I'm going to slice the the onion, sorry, so it's all ready. So we'll just do those things first. Right, so I've rinsed the potatoes off and I'm just going to cut them into little cubes. So I tend to really doesn't matter how you cut them as long as they're sort of like little cubes like this. So I normally cut a bit down so then I can stand the potato up. And I've cut it into 3. I'll just remove that and put it on its side, the 2 slices. Across and then down like this, so they're like little cubes. Just cut them how you're confident. You don't have to be fast, just take your time, especially if you're not used to cooking and chopping things up. Just take your time. Or you could cut them like this and then cut them across again to make little cubes. It's just entirely up to you how you do it. But as you can see, we just want this type of sizing with the potatoes. So I'll just do all of those and then we can start on the onion. So I've just rinsed the potatoes off in a colander. I've popped them in a saucepan. I'm just boiling the kettle now to put the water into the saucepan, and then I'm going to let it simmer, bring it to boil and let it simmer just for about 5 minutes, just to soften them up a little. So here's my onion. Now, it really doesn't matter how you cut the onion, as long as they're sort of about this size. So you can see them. Just trying to show you the size of the pieces that we would like. And if you're a beginner, it really doesn't matter. This is just the size I prefer. If they're a bit more chunky than this, it really does not matter. All I would like you to do is just to take your time. You could even just cut a slice like this and then just cut it individually. Just cut it across so you end up with the same size. So just do what you're comfortable doing. That's really important. So I've just put the boiled water into the saucepan. As you can see the level of water I've got as well. I've just put the gas on, I'm putting it on, and I'll put the lid on. Once that comes up to boiling point and it starts to bubble away, I'm going to turn it down and just let it simmer, and just put the lid on a slant and let it simmer for about 5 minutes, just to soften up the potatoes. You can always check the potato by just putting a knife through, because we don't want them too soft. It's just to soften them up slightly. Now, in a smaller saucepan, I have just put some olive oil in there. It's about a teaspoonful roughly. I'm going to put the onions in, and I'm going to cook those on a low heat. Right, so I've put the onions in. I'm just moving the onions around a little, just so it's all coated with a little bit of oil. There we go. And then I'm going to turn this onto a low heat, and then just put those on and cook them gently, because actually we don't want them to burn, we just want them to caramelise. So we're just making sure that it's on a low heat, and we gently cook them slowly. So here the water has just started to bubble. We want that to continue for about 5 minutes. So the onions have just started to start sizzling away. So just now and again, just move them around a little in the saucepan. And just be patient with it, just let it cook slowly. When you come to give the onions a stir, make sure that you are scraping the bottom of the pan with your wooden spoon, just because it might start to stick and burn at the bottom. So you don't want to be all gentle and just give it sort of a mix like on the top like this. You want to actually put the spoon and really just rub the bottom of the saucepan. If you have non-stick, that's fantastic. This is just a stainless steel, so you just want to rub the bottom. It's all coming together, it's starting to soften. The potatoes are still simmering. So at this point the onions have gone soft. You can add a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of balsamic vinegar if you wish to. If you don't want to do that, or you don't have it, that's absolutely fine. It's not necessary, so don't worry about that. That's just my balsamic vinegar going in. It's optional. Don't worry if you don't have any. It just gives it a sweeter taste. Right, it's been 5 minutes. I'm just going to test the potato. So I've just taken some out with a spoon, and I'm just going to use my knife and put it through. So that's still a little firm, so I'm just going to give it another 3 minutes. But as you can see, you can just use this utensil, and then you're literally just getting the knife, and I'm just trying to get close to the camera, putting the knife through. If it goes in really smoothly, really easily, then it's ready. But this one is slightly a bit too firm, as you can see. So I'm just going to give it another 3 minutes. I'm here to show you my onions, so they're ready, they're done. They're nice and soft, as you can see, and the colour is because of the balsamic vinegar. So they're ready, so I'll just leave those to cool down. I'll put those on the side. Just a little tip, I've tipped the onions into a bowl, so they're just cooling in a bowl, and what I haven't done is just put the pan back on the cooker. I would actually, I've just soaked it in some washing up liquid and some warm water straight away, so that it's not hard work for later when you come to washing up. So now we're going to make the stuffing mix up. So I had a pack of ready mixed stuffing. They're just really simple to use. Just follow the instructions on your packet. Now this one, I've boiled the kettle. I'm just going to pour the amount of water I need for this mixture into the jug. There we go. Then I'm going to pour my packet of mix into the jug. Then I'm going to mix, give it a really good mix, breaking it down. So you can see it soaks up the water pretty quickly. Keep mixing it until it combines together and everything, all the dry ingredient is mixed in. There we go. So that's all mixed in. I'll leave that now to just stand in there for a little while, and then I'll come and give it another mix and leave it to cool. Again, I have rinsed, once I tipped out the stuffing and put it on a plate to cool, I've actually rinsed the jug out straight away, and I'll leave that for when I'm washing up later. Just checking the potatoes. So let me get my knife. Goes in really easily, so that's when they're done. Now the timing, it just really depends on the types of potatoes and how big the chunks are, so just keep an eye on it. I've actually given these potatoes an extra 4 minutes for them to be like this. So I'll drain that off, rinse some cold water into the colander with the potatoes and leave them again on the side to cool. Well, actually, I'm rinsing my saucepan off at the same time. This is just cold water. I'm filling in, and then I'm just rinsing over my potatoes. And I'll leave those, finish draining off. And I've rinsed this actual saucepan because normally the potatoes, it sort of leaves, you can see the potatoes on there, so just slightly. So by rinsing it, when you come to washing up, you don't get that sort of potato residue all over your other items that you're washing. So that's rinsed off. So let me just put it there with the other saucepan that I've used. So now, so here are all my ingredients. They're just cooling down. So I have my onions, my stuffing, my potatoes. So let's look at this now. So here is the whole chestnut packet that I had in the cupboard, which I didn't use over Christmas. Let's just open that up. Pour some of these out. I probably won't use all of them. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slice them up a little bit smaller. Just smaller chunks. And then we'll put those into a bowl as well, so they're all ready. If you don't have any chestnuts, that's absolutely fine, don't worry about it. These are literally things that I found in the cupboard and in the freezer. So if you feel that you might like some carrot or some peas, that's okay. Just experiment a little, see what you have in the cupboard. There's no right or wrong, just the flavours that you like. So there's my chestnuts done. So I'll pop those into a bowl so they're ready. Right, so here is everything that I've done. So I've got my onion, they're cooling still. I've got my stuffing, got my potato, my chestnuts. I still have my sausage meat and my pastry. But I've also got salt and pepper, and I've just got some cranberry sauce that I made. That's just come out the fridge. You can use whatever you would like to flavour this bake with. So if you wanted a bit more spicy, put a bit more chili in. If you wanted a curry flavour, maybe add some curry powder. You can really do what you would like, the flavours that you would like. So just think about the flavours that you might want in it. There's no right and wrong. It's entirely up to you. This is just something I'm making up as I go along. So whatever works well for you, give it a go. So I've just put the oven on now to give it time to warm up. So I've put it on my fan oven on 200. So that's heating up, and now all the ingredients have cooled down. So I have my stuffing, onions, chestnuts, potatoes. I have cranberry sauce that I've made at home, salt and pepper. You will need 1 egg, cracked and beaten. This is just to brush the pastry with afterwards, so it helps it go golden brown. I have my baking tray, and then I've lined it with greaseproof paper, or you might know it as baking paper. So I've just cut off a section and pop that in there, and then I'm just going to put that aside, and we're going to start to build up our sort of like pasty type roll. So let's just get the pastry out. Now you want to make sure it's room temperature, otherwise if it's too cold it will start just to crack when you're unravelling it. There we go. So I'm going to cut this in half, roughly half down the middle there. I'm just trying to loosen it off the paper underneath. There we go. Now already I can see I've got loads of ingredients, so I will probably get some more pastry out and do another batch with the amount of ingredients I have, and then I'm going to cut it again, and the other one. You can make it as big as you like really, but I just like to make 4. So I'm going to start building up. Let me just move it down a little so it's on the camera. Let's start with these 2 here. I'm hoping you can see. So now it's time to build up. So I think I'm going to put some stuffing on first. Just a little bit. In fact, I think I'm going to have to defrost 2 more rolls and just make a big batch with all the ingredients I've got. So just a little, not too close to the edge as you can see. Then some potato. Onion. Chestnut. And some sausage meat. So I'm just going to flatten that out and put that on the top like that. And lifting the one side, I'm going to put that right over. In fact, what I should have done is put egg around the sides first. Bit of egg around the side and then put it over. I'm going to press the edges down and the ingredients a little, all the way round. Then I'm just going to get a fork to move it along so you can see. I'm just going to get a fork and I'm just going to press the fork round the edges. And then I'm just going to put 2 little holes on the top with the fork. So let me lift that up and bring it to the camera so you can see what I'm left with. There we go. And I'm going to put this on the baking tray and just egg wash it a little. So that's my first one. So I'll carry on and I'll take a photo to show you at the end. So this one I've put in the cranberry sauce, if you can see, and I've also added some pepper. I haven't added any salt, so it's the same ingredients, but I've added the cranberry sauce and pepper on this one. So I've just put the egg wash all the way around and I'm just going to fold it over. Press around the edges. Now, as I said in my previous videos, I'm not a chef at all. I'm just a mum, just trying to pass on a few skills and also to let you know not to be afraid to experiment. So we'll see what happens with these today, as these are an experiment. So there you go. So I'll put that one on the baking tray. Now I've got my egg that I've cracked open and put into here. I'm just going to brush all round the I need to make up a name for this, maybe leftover pasty. Maybe we could call it that. And I think this one, the one I'm brushing now, I think that will split because there is a little, I sort of overfilled that really, but never mind, it will still taste the same. Hopefully delicious. There we go. And we'll just put those in the oven. I think we'll put them in for 25 to 30 minutes and we'll check them and see what happens. Now, because I've got lots of ingredients left, rather than waiting for me to get some more pastry out, I think I've only got one more tube left in the freezer. I'm going to actually just bake everything in this tray here, this baking. Normally you'd use it for cakes, but I'm going to actually, another experiment again, is put the rest of the ingredients in here because I just actually thought it's quite nice for a lunch, to add in your packed lunch. So I'm just going to spray this tin. Now obviously you can line it if you want to. I'm just being lazy. I'm just going to spray it with a little bit of spray oil all the way around. And then I'm going to start putting the leftover ingredients in. So I've got some stuffing here, which I will put in. And I will press this all down. You can use your fingers. I'm using my fingers and the back of a spoon just to press the leftover stuffing into this baking tin. So I'm sort of pressing and rubbing across, if you can see that. So like if you're making a cheesecake and you're spreading the digestive biscuit, a bit like that. So pressing it down but sort of spreading it at the same time. You can see it's all coming together. It's like sticking down rather than being all lumpy. So we press that all down. There we go. That's it. Making sure the edges, you press all the edges down as well. Okay, so now I'm going to get a couple of spoons of the cranberry sauce that I had in the fridge, and then I'm going to just put a thin layer, again spreading it round. Just put a bit in at a time, spread it round, and if you want more, just add more. So let's put some more over this side. There we go. Okay, next I'm going to put, I think I'll put the sausage meat, I think. So now this I'm going to just break and put little blobs around to make it a bit easier to spread. So little blobs of the sausage meat that I've got left. There we go. I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, so again we're just going to spread that round. Just a little bit there. Okay, add some pepper. Now I think I'm going to add the chestnuts. Put that all in, just move that around, fill in the edges. Okay, then the onion. There we go. And then I don't think I'll use all this potato. I might make a potato salad with some whatever I have left. Now this spoon I'm not going to actually touch the ingredients with because I don't want to cross-contaminate with the raw sausage. Right, so I'm just using the other spoon that I had used before previously, that had the raw sausage on. Just be careful when you're cooking, you don't cross-contaminate like that with raw meat. So I'm just pressing that, just tapping it all down like this. Pressing it all down. And then I'm going to, maybe I could use this egg. Shall we just see what happens? So I've got the leftover egg. Maybe I could just use it to brush over. So I'm just trying to literally use all the leftover ingredients and not have any wastage. So let's just brush all round with the leftover egg mixture. Oops, dropped a bit there. And I feel actually I might slice a little bit of cheddar cheese to put on the top, and then I will put this on a baking tray, and then we'll put that in the oven for half an hour. Hello everyone, I'm back. I actually didn't hear the buzzer go off on my oven, so these have had longer, as you can see. They've started to burn around the outside. I think they've had about 40 to 45 minutes, which is a no-no. I've cut one open anyway, just to have a look inside. And actually, I think they're going to be okay. So that was my experimental leftover Christmas things that I've put inside there. I think you can put anything you like in them really. So just experiment a little and give it a go, and hopefully don't burn yours like I've done mine. They only need 30 minutes. Right, I've just taken this out the oven. It's had 40 minutes in total. I'm just going to leave it on the side to cool, and then we'll open it up and cut it and see what's going on inside. So this had 40 minutes in the oven on 200. For the last 10 minutes, I did turn it down to 190. You just have to keep an eye on if it starts to burn on the top. So you can see all the layers in there, which has worked quite well. Now, I was a little impatient and I've already cut into it, but really you should let it cool down and even have it in the fridge for a little while because it will firm up. But I just wanted to see what it was like, and also to taste some. So, and I have to say it does taste delicious. So that was a way of getting rid of the excess ingredients that I had with my experimental sort of pasties. So there they are. I've cut them in half and you can just serve them like that. So obviously if you just want to make the pasties, just don't use as much ingredients as I did today. Today's was just very much experimental for me, just to see how things would turn out. And I just made this item just because I didn't want to defrost more pastry. But this actually has worked quite well. So hopefully you're able to make these, but really you can have any filling in them. So you could use curried chicken with some vegetables. Just experiment a little. Give it a go. Bye.